So the Dodgers beat the pulp out of Mr. Met 10-0 to avoid getting swept by the Metropolitans in a game on Sunday afternoon. But that's not the story here. The story is the diagnosis, and if you have not been following along, L.A., they lost the series to the Mets, but they're 3-7 in their last 10 games, only a couple games over 500. The greatest team in baseball, not playing like it. Much of the recent rage, though, for the Doyers has been directed at one guy, and one guy in particular who's not living up to his end of the bargain. Now, who is that particular player? Do you know? Ding, 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 ding. That is right. The great Cy Young of Japan, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who has been lit up in most of his starts. Now, not fully lit up, not like a firecracker lit up, but just poor enough to not be in position to win and give the Dodgers a chance to win in these games. So L.A. lost both of his starts on this recent homestand against the Padres and the Metropolitans, and many diehards fed up already with Yamamoto and his lack of dominance in Dodger blue. So let us discuss the question. The Dodgers fan base, agitated, annoyed, angry with what they've seen from Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Your thoughts on that? So I've got halitosis, theater, and verbo. And we will combine all of these things together, and we'll jump into the train and see where the train takes us. So first of all, I get the annoyance, and that's the proper way to approach this, is annoyance, because if you are sold a bill of goods, and nobody had ever seen this guy pitch here, American baseball fans are not watching Japanese baseball. They're not. And I anticipate, or I see that many people were like me. You hopped on YouTube and you watched a highlight reel of Yoshinobu striking everyone out and dominating and just being amazing. And you're like, wow, that guy's really good. And then, he was hyped up. He was as hyped up as the Kirkland brand crispy rotisserie chicken that so many people love when they go to Costco. The quintessential prepared food dish there at Costco, that rotisserie chicken. Ready to serve, right? Ready to serve. You sign him with a contract, and you've got dominance. You've got success for years to come. And you look at the resume. I say bill of goods, 3-time Japanese MVP, the first player in the history of professional baseball, Japan, America, anywhere else, to win the Triple Crown 3 consecutive years. And instead of being that crispy rotisserie chicken from Costco, so far he's been watered down mac and cheese from Dollar General. It's not going so well, right? And the Dodger supporters, you're smelling, you watch this guy pitch, you're smelling the halitosis from his mouth, Yamamoto's mouth, and how he's pitched. L.A. has had 5 starts from this guy. They're 1-4. 1-4. You can get a guy off the internet, right? They can go to Express Pros and they can get a pitcher to go 1-4. They could. The Dodgers. So it's a lot of bad breath. He's had 2, what I would say, solid starts. And then that was against the Cardinals and 1 against the Cubs. And then other than that, he's had 3 stinkers. 3 stinkers. ERA in those other 3 starts of over 8, 8.25. And this is a guy on a 12-year, $325 million contract. And this is not the first impression you want to leave. I watch him pitch. It looks like he has amazing spin on the baseball, and it's dazzling, but it's not effective. So I'd rather have somebody that throws slop up there that's effective. Now, it's way too early, but we have to do the show today, as we say. And so right now, in this moment, it is a feeling of annoyance watching the way this has gone. So just do better, be better for Shinobu Yamamoto. Now, secondly, speaking of problems, in a New York state of mind here, Aaron Judge has been the Iceman to begin the season. Now, the Yankees have a great record, but the burly slugger has been reaching new levels of stinkage in the boogie down Bronx. How bad? Aaron Judge hitting a $183. $183. He's only got 3 home runs over the first 22 games. That's it, right? Massive slugger, bigger than life. Now, he was asked recently over the weekend about the ticket-buying fans in New York who have been serenading him with boos, throwing raspberry tarts in his direction. And Aaron Judge calmly said that he's heard worse. He's heard worse than the Yankee fans are giving him right now. So should the Yankees be worried at all about the booing of Aaron Judge and how he's performed so far this season? So I wouldn't use the word worried. I don't think that's the proper word for this. It's all part of the all-inclusive package. So that's the way I would describe it. You can go back over 100 years, and there is a misnomer about the Bronx Cheer. The Bronx Cheer actually predates Yankee Stadium. It didn't start at Yankee Stadium. Historians, not Laker apologists, but actual historians, have gone back and looked, and they say that it started at the Bronx Theater. And this goes back over 100 years to the 19-teens. And if you perform, you get cheers. And if you don't perform and you're supposed to perform, you get heckled. It's not that hard. Period, stop. Aaron Judge right now is on pace at 22 home runs, have 81 runs batted in, and that lack of production has not impacted the Yankees as of yet. They have the top record in professional baseball at this point. We have another week to go here or so in the baseball opening month. The real, I know a lot of teams started in March, but so what? All right, now, final thought. We now head to the upcoming swap meet, which will be open for business. And most real trades don't happen until mid to late June. The trade deadline, early August, I believe now. But we're still another month and a half away from the real trades. But most of the time, you have to have that separation from pretender to contender or contender to pretender, depending on which way it goes. So, nevertheless, I think we all know this. It's never too early, though, to peek ahead. And when I wasn't watching basketball this weekend, I was flipping over to baseball, watching some random baseball games, and I noticed that there's a lot of chatter about the St. Louis baseball team, a lot of noise about the St. Louis baseball team unloading many players on that roster. So, are the Cardinals, the Redbirds, going to hold a liquidation sale? If you gave me $1,000 of funny money to bet on whether the Cardinals will have a fire sale or not, I'm going to go, all of it's going to be on the fire sale. All of it. I'm nodding my head. Yes, and that St. Louis roster, I was watching the Cardinals, I think it was on Friday, and you look at that Cardinal roster, and it's like a verbo. There's a lot of short-term rentals. Paul Goldschmidt's been there a while. He's going to turn 37, which is not old in real life, but in sports it's getting old. So 37. He's also a player in the last year of his contract. He's got an expiring deal. So you got to believe that Goldie, is going to be moved by the Redbirds. And then you look at the pitching staff, and the starting rotation is swollen with pitchers in their mid to late 30s. So the Redbirds, just this offseason, they added Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn is back, Kyle Gibson, and they join Milos Mikolas, the 35-year-old, and Steven Matz, who's the ex-Met, who's in his mid-30s. So all those guys can be had. They're all available. Any of those guys you want, toss them into the market.